Hi there, Rutva. Let's take a look at this new set of essays you've sent to us, starting with the traditional foods, negative impact on families, individuals, and society. Let's see what you said. Edible and inedible food has always remained the hot topic in many countries. Careful, we're not talking about inedible food, but let's move on. Individuals, families, and even society are being impacted negatively by replacing the homemade traditional foods with junk or fast foods. I personally, you don't need a comma here, agree with this statement, and this essay will demonstrate points and prove my argument using examples from the UK government and Oxford University. Okay, like I said, you weren't talking about inedible food, you're just talking about fast food. So fast food is edible, although, that might be up for debate with some people, but you can't call it inedible, okay? People all over the globe are running after time. People are running. Everyone has left just one line to say, I don't have time. All right, that's an awkward expression. I don't think that's what you mean. I think what you're trying to say instead is that everyone utters, or all the time, everyone utters, I don't have time. Therefore, individuals prefer the kind of foods which are easy to cook and ready to eat. Although time is precious and all are busy earning their bread and butter, get rid of in, health should not be compromised over money. For example, recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that a 60% rise has been noted on online food orders. All right, changing your word order around a little bit. And consuming unhealthy restaurant food. This has resulted in life-risking health issues like obesity, cholesterol, and cardiac arrests at a very early age among people. Okay, so we're just going to put a pause there. Let's move on. There is no doubt about the convenience, careful with your spelling, of eating fast food. Moreover, canned and frozen food are also now overstated. That's the wrong word here. A recent article in a magazine on food and health. What? A nutrition had asked to readers that. All right, there's something happening here. In a recent article in a magazine on food and health, a nutritioner had questioned readers if it isn't devastating to see that the majority of working mothers prefer, careful with your spelling, canned and frozen food for their family's lunch and dinner just because it is easy and quick to cook. Okay. Conclusively, this will adversely affect the health, get rid of on, of future offsprings and youngsters and benefiting only the food industry, not chain. From arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that reciprocally, if people replace vulnerable fast food, wrong word, and this is wrong too, I don't care for this word here, reciprocally. If people replace fast food with traditional food by avoiding eating high calorie with no D, burgers, fries, and pizzas, and accept homemade nutritious food, then only a birth of a healthy society will take place. Okay. So we've already pretty much covered some of the areas of awkwardness. I already addressed them with you, so you should understand what those areas were. I see that you were trying to use some of these idiomatic expressions. It didn't really work out. In fact, I want to encourage you to avoid some of these idiomatic expressions because they just don't sound particularly academic. They're okay in spoken language, they're okay in the speaking test, like bread and butter. It doesn't really so much work in an essay like this, which is supposed to be a little more formal, a little more academic. You had a number of word choice mistakes, okay, like this vulnerable fast food and other things like that, which was a little strange. But I think that for me, the thing that's most important to spend a couple of minutes talking about is task achievement. Okay? So You were supposed to talk about the negative impact on families, individuals, and society. I guess you were talking about individuals here when you were talking about obesity, cholesterol, and cardiac arrest. Okay. Um, but then this paragraph really confused me. I didn't know what you were arguing here. I didn't understand how this thing about the nutritionist was particularly effective. It just felt really kind of judgmental, actually. Um, but it certainly didn't argue who is being harmed by this. I mean, you're talking about mothers feeding their kids canned stuff. Okay. But you didn't talk to us about how this is negative for the family, which is I think what you were trying to do. Okay. Um, so the development of that paragraph for me was particularly off. Um, what could you have said here? Okay, so we said that you talked about um, the individual and the individual's health. So, okay, fine, I'll give you that. Here, what you could have talked about is the fact that traditionally, a lot of families have gathered around the family table and had these home cooked traditional meals together. Um, it's the family meal has been considered a staple of our society. Now, with everybody in such a rush and people turning to junk food, quick fast food on the go, not only are a lot of traditional recipes dying out, but also this tradition of family meetings where people gather together and discuss the news of the day. And so when you find that traditional family habits and behaviors are dying out, then you really see this have an effect on the society as well, where we become a little individualistic and we're not, we don't really feel like we're part of a family unit, etc., etc. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas about how you could have talked about this, okay? And what kinds of development could have come out of this question about affecting families and society. All right? But that's what they're kind of expecting you to talk about here. So I hope you find that helpful. Now I really just want to go on to your task 1 and see what you said here. It's a letter to your friend. Dear friend, okay, it's better just give a name, anything, Anne, John, Joe, whatever. I hope this letter will find you in great health and wealth. I know you are a little grumpy with me, not on me, grumpy with me for visiting your place during my business trip. So I have written this letter to apologize you and promise you to meet you soon. Okay, let's fix the grammar here, shall we? This feels a little old-fashioned to me, in great health and wealth, all right? So how about, I hope this letter finds you well. The whole thing, though, sounds really rather formal, okay? This is something we would write to maybe like a business colleague or something, but not to a friend that you were supposed to visit in another town, okay? So keep that in mind. You could have said instead, I hope you are doing well. That's it, all right? And then, I know you are a little grumpy with me for not visiting your place because you went to the friend's city, but you didn't see him or her. And so this is inaccurate. I know you are a little grumpy with me for not visiting you while I was in your hometown during my business trip. So I have written this letter to apologize, get rid of you, and promise to meet you soon. Okay, so some of the language here is a little awkward. It's grammatically incorrect. Firstly, I'm really sorry. I'm really very sorry for not coming to your home. Actually, I had come here to your city, Ahmedabad, for a business trip of 2 days and had a stay in the Fortune Landmark Hotel last week. However, long meetings and conferences made my schedule so hectic that I couldn't even step without the PED out of my hotel. Moreover, due to this COVID pandemic, the hotel had strict rules about leaving the hotel, had strict rules about not leaving the hotel unless it is an emergency, and a few safety measures to prevent infection from the virus. Okay. Secondly, I'm visiting your city again next month for work purposes, S, in the first week of January, and I am checking in. How about this? I am checking into the same hotel. Much better. Therefore, I promise to visit you on the weekend, and I am planning to stay for 2 days at your home. Hopefully, we will have fun together, and I'm very excited to meet you soon. Yours lovingly. Okay, fine. So here, really, Rutva, it's the grammar. There were grammar mistakes throughout this letter, so I want you to be careful with them. The good news is that these are not mistakes that create incoherence, but they are if there are mistakes that reduce the communicative effect. So it's probably not going to get one of those really high scores in grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, somewhere kind of in the middle. So go ahead and correct these. Let me know if you have any questions. I want you to work on some of these grammatical things happening in your essay and in your letter, and the other areas as well. Don't forget to add to your error correction list, and we'll meet back here with another set of essays. So good luck.